Welcome to Dilly, where we cheer to educated, conservative conversation and values. My name is Christy McLaughlin. You can call me Christy. Today is November 3rd, 2020, and congratulations, we did it. No matter what happens, I'm expecting a President Trump 2020 landslide, but regardless, we need to be proud that this country, the United States, is better off than we were 4 years ago, thanks to President Trump's administration. Despite the fact that the mainstream media has spewed divisiveness, President Trump has freed young people, minorities, and women from the thought encampments that the Democrats have tried to force us into. To discuss, I'm being joined today by George T. Farrell from BLAK. We will be discussing, hopefully, what is going to be a great outcome today, November 3rd, 2020. All right, I'm joined here with George T. Farrell of BLAK. He is the chair. Why don't you go ahead and explain to us, George, what BLAK does and what you've been up to today on November 3rd?
Well, I tell you what, BLAK started in 4 or 5 years ago. We started a political action committee to help elect Black, Latin, and Asian. We call it Black, Latin, Asian Knowledge Political Action Committee. So our focus was electing Blacks to Congress. And we felt that if we could elect more Blacks and make the party more inclusive, the party would expand and grow. So when we started in 2015, there were only 6 Blacks running for Congress, including John James, and the president at that time. So we also supported President Trump in his victory. So now we are in 2020, and there's 30 Blacks running for Congress. We expect 6 of them to win. And there haven't been that many Blacks in Congress since 1845. So this is a major victory. We expect John James to win, Burgess Owens in Utah, Wesley Hunt in Texas, Byron Donalds in Florida. We expect Kimberly Klacik in Maryland. That would be great. So we expect a great day today for Black and Latin candidates across the board. We expect a more inclusive Republican Party, more inclusive than it's ever been in history. And we expect a big victory for Donald Trump.
Awesome. So, the media has been very clear on numerous occasions trying to portray President Donald Trump as a racist, as a bigot, as a misogynist. Why did you decide to back him in 2016, despite that narrative?
Well, Hillary's a crook. What can I say? We have a lot of Haitian members who were very upset with Hillary Clinton about what they did to Hillary during the hurricane. They had a very bad hurricane in 2015. And the Hillary Foundation, their foundation raised $100 million, and they promised to rebuild schools and infrastructure, and they barely spent $1 million out of the $100 million on the Haitian community. They actually spent $99 million of that on their daughter's wedding. So they went to a very big, flashy wedding. So the Haitians were very upset. They expressed their disappointment, and there were a lot of other people that were just didn't believe the Democratic BS anymore. So we found it that we would support Donald Trump. The Haitians supported him, the Venezuelans supported him, the Cubans and everybody else. So you have this big international following that supports Donald Trump. And actually, when you go into the issues about conservative values, you talk about family values, those are issues that minorities, Blacks, Haitians, and Hispanics really believe in. And that's something that Donald Trump's believe in. Now, the Democratic candidates don't believe that minorities or Blacks or Cubans have any family values. They think we all want to be on welfare. And that's not the case. We all have this thing that we want upward mobility. We want to increase our net worth. We want to grow as a family. We want to grow our businesses. And that's the Republican values that appeal to minority voters.
Since you mentioned Hillary Clinton, what do you expect to see in the next 4 years when President Trump gets reelected? Do you anticipate that some of the deep state is going to finally be indicted and face some of the repercussions for their illegal actions?
Well, I hope they keep their promises and leave the country. That's what I really hope. I would like to see them leave by Friday when Donald Trump wins. I like to see all the Hollywood celebrities that say they're going to leave the country actually leave the country. I don't know if there's going to be indictments. I think the Democratic Party will fall apart. Maybe they'll move back to their base, which is also conservative values, and move away from this welfare state and this communism state that they're moving toward. But hopefully Donald Trump wins and the Democratic Party falls apart. and all the other Democrats, like John Legend and his wife, leave the country. So,
Well, when I discussed earlier with AJ Swinson, who is with
yes,
the Journey PAC, we discussed the fact that Democrats like to put minorities, young people, and women in what I refer to as thought encampments.
right.
We are encamping what we're allowed to think, what we're allowed to say, and how we're allowed to behave. And that said, where did those conservative values come from then when you were first establishing BLAK, despite the fact that Kamala Harris is saying that the only party that represents minorities is the Democrat Party?
You know, the conservative values never left minorities. The traditional Hispanic family, the daughter does not leave home until she has a husband. In Asian families, it's even more so. The traditional minority family believes that family comes first. I don't know where they got this idea that we all want to be on welfare and separated from our families, our parents, our mothers, and our fathers. That's not a minority value in any culture. It's an American value. So this value where liberals just want to take off at 14 and have babies or whatever, I have no idea where that came from. It's not a traditional American value. It's not a Republican value. And it's really not a Democratic value. And where they got sidetracked, I think Obama sidetracked the Democratic Party because they believe that socialism works, and socialism is a breakdown of the family. And it doesn't work. That's why Venezuelans are here. That's why Cubans are here. That's why you find so many cultures come here, because when communism comes to Nicaragua or those countries, people flee communism. They don't run to communism. You don't see anybody running to communist countries saying, I want to live there. They come to America for the freedom, the opportunity, and the values that we hold true, especially family values. So these folks are reading family values totally wrong. They don't get it. I don't know what values they hold, but they don't hold traditional American values. So when you talk to Hispanics and Asians, especially if you talk to their sons and daughters, they stay home until they get married. Even after college, Asian men stay home with their mothers until after college, even if they have a doctorate. So they believe in education. Asians believe in education. They still don't leave home until they're married, even with a doctorate. And same for Hispanics and Blacks.
So how are you communicating that to the potential voters? As you stated, you are trying to get numerous Black representatives into Congress, and you're trying to turn out the vote for Donald Trump. That said, though, even with evangelicals, which overwhelmingly support President Trump over Joe Biden, with approximately 90% plus that they're polling at now, it is still very clearly divided among party lines. And by party lines, I'm referring to 69% of evangelicals, supposedly of minority evangelicals, are supporting Joe Biden, according to the poll. So how do you communicate that the best representation of those values is really the Conservative Party and Donald Trump?
I don't believe that poll. I know a lot of pastors. I know a lot of pastors that do not believe in those polls, and a lot of church groups. As a matter of fact, we do our own souls to the polls on Sunday, where we go to Black churches to get them to go to the polls on Sunday and bring their congregations. It's been very successful. And I just communicate with people on the simple things. Like the other day, I was at a gas station. I had my Blacks for Trump shirt on at the gas station, and I'm pumping gas and we're knocking doors in a minority community, Lake Worth, Florida. We're knocking doors. And one of the guys said, I said, look, if you think you're going to vote for Joe Biden, look at that gas price. It's $1.98. Yeah. When Joe Biden stops fracking and stops oil drilling and energy production in the United States, and we have to go back to Saudi Arabia and get these big tankers to bring us oil, you're going to see $5 gallon gasoline prices again. And the guy looked at me and says, are you serious? I said, what do you think Joe Biden just said? He said he's going to stop fracking. That means he's going to stop gas production. That means he's going to stop oil production. And we'll all be forced to buy electric cars because there'll be no gasoline at $5 a gallon. We won't be able to afford it. And that is really their plan. They really want to stop energy production in the US. And that's how we communicate in simple terms with blacks and minorities. We just say, look, the guy said he's gonna stop fracking. That means he's gonna stop gas production. That means he's gonna stop oil production. That means we'll all be paying $5 to $10 a gallon for gasoline and driving the little electric cars that they want us to be in that are unsafe and slow and barely go 200 miles. And in Florida, you can go 200 miles in one county. You don't even leave one county. As they go around Broward County or Palm Beach County, that's 200 miles just going from one side to the other. So this is the kind of, these are the kind of messaging that we use, very simple, very direct, and it makes that light bulb go off in people's head that think they believe in Joe Biden. Now they think, I don't want to pay $5 a gallon for gas. Nobody does. We've been through that before. We know what it feels like. And at $5 a gallon, there's no more Dodge trucks. There's no more Ford trucks. There's no Chevy trucks. There's no Hummers. There's no luxury cars. Everybody's going to be in little, I don't know what those things are.
Right, little hybrids.
They're little hybrids with back problems because the seats barely fit you. So.
Well, then, George, how did you spend today? You had mentioned that you were putting signs up until just a few hours ago, trying to turn out the vote for our president and for these congressional candidates. And how will you be spending tonight, hopefully in celebration?
We'll spend tonight in celebration. I expect it to be a landslide. But what we did today, all the polls we're in Palm Beach County mainly open. There's over 145 polling places for people to vote, so there won't be any long lines. So we spent the day putting out Trump signs and different candidate signs at those 145 polls. It took us like 4 hours, and then we took a break. Before then, we knocked on over 6,000 doors. So we knocked on over 6,000 doors. We've probably made about 20,000 contacts. We sign wave, we wave from highways. We did all the high touch things that a lot of places don't do, because that's what you need in a close race. You need to let the people see that your candidate is out there and that you care. So I walk around with this Blacks for Trump shirt. I don't hide it. I'm very proud of it. It starts conversations. It even starts debates, and I usually win.
There you go. Well, what's great about this president is that it's not just President Trump, it's the American people that are behind him.
Yes.
So he's really just the front man for an overall message that represents all of us, the American people. And that's why I think we're going to have such a great victory, and it will be unprecedented. And this is such a seriously fantastic moment in history that will be remembered for a very long time.
It'll be remembered. It'll be remembered like your first Kiss concert if you were in the Kiss. It'll be remembered like Donald Trump flew into Opelika Airport at 12 midnight, and there were still 30,000 people there, and he spoke until about 1:30. I mean, this man is the Energizer Bunny. I would like to see his vitamin regimen because I need it. So.
Well, I don't know, how many rallies have you been to? Because when I was at the recent rally in Sanford, Florida, and the YMCA started playing, it was his first rally since having COVID-19. I felt like I was at a Prince concert. It was electric. I was not kidding. And yes, I've seen Prince in concert when I was 12. But it was just incredible. It felt like everybody had this one electric moment to really have that kind of energy to protect this country.
Not only that, it's an American movement. Even though I say Blacks for Trump, when you're at a Trump event, it's everybody's together. There's no black, there's no white, there's no Hispanic. He's really the American president, more so than Joe Biden claims to be. Joe Biden, as a matter of fact, I watched Joe Biden the other day. He looks 85 or 95. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but he looks like past his age, and like he can barely stand. He looks very frail. I'm worried about his health, and a lot of people are looking at him, and this is another reason they may not vote for him, because he doesn't look like he's going to make it through the first presidency, the first 4 years. So a lot of people don't want Kamala, whatever her name is, Kamala as president. So they're not really voting. They're questioning their vote, and they don't want her as president because she is the Green New Deal that will have us all in little teeny electric cars. We may even go back to the Stone Age and have to use our feet like the Flintstones. So we may not have to we don't want to go back to that. We don't want to go back to this Green New Deal that will destroy American jobs and industry. What we want to do is go forward with President Trump and come together in unity, which he's done that. If you've been to his rallies, you've seen everybody there, everybody's together, everybody's happy. And like you said, it's like a Prince concert or something.
It's electric. It's electric. The only thing I'm kind of sad about it now that the election's over is we're going to not have any more rallies for at least a year and a half.
No, he said he's going to continue the rallies.
He's going to continue the rallies? Good. So we're preparing for 2022.
Yes. We need to take back Congress. We need to take the Senate. We need to get rid of Pelosi. Hopefully we can get rid of her this time and not wait till 2022. Right. So we need a John James to win. We need a couple of other senators to win. We need to get rid of Pelosi. That would be great if we took over the Senate. So Hopefully we will. Hopefully we will.
Thank you so much, George. Can you tell us where people can find BLAK to find out more information?
Oh, yes.
Get involved.
Our website is www.blakpac.gop, not .com, but .gop. So it's blakpac.gop. That's BLAK. And you can find us all over the web. We're everywhere. Our social media is at Real BLAK. And that's because the Democrats started a fake BLAK that we beat on. We beat them every time they show up. So because they try to confuse people, but we have the Real BLAK at Twitter. We're on LinkedIn, we're on Instagram, and you can find us on the web. And you'll see our list of candidates on our website. You see all the pictures and all the candidates that we're endorsing. And we'll be around for 2022, 2024. We'll have to be around in Florida because Florida has both a Senate race and a governor's race in 2022 that we're going to prepare for early. We're going to be ready. Yes, we're not going to wait until the last 3 months. We're going to be preparing for that race. We're going to continue to get out our vote. We're going to continue to contact the people that have gone out and voted. We're going to make sure they show up in 2022. But hopefully we'll get rid of Pelosi this time. That's today, hopefully.
Prayers. Prayers all night to make sure that happens.
That would be a shocker.
Thank you so much. George T. Farrell, everybody. Thank you for joining me. And have a nice election night.
Thank you. Have a great time.